It's the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160 and 101.1 FM. And it's time for another conversation with a studio guest. It's brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. And in the studio with us this morning, Pastor Katrina Laude from the Homer City United Methodist Church. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
It's good to have you with us here today.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Celebrate Recovery is a great organization doing wonderful work, and it has a presence at the Homer City United Methodist Church. How long has it been there?
We are celebrating our 10-year anniversary this evening.
Oh, yeah. You've got an event happening this evening.
We do. We have a guest speaker coming. Our program begins at 7 o'clock, and he is named Nick the Greek. He's a former gangster and has an incredible testimony. And we also have some bands coming that are Servant's Call and Anthony Frazier, who everybody knows, will be there, and we'll just have a great celebration.
Oh, yeah, that's Nick the Greek Paravalos, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, he has a great story to tell. And it is a story. It's a story of redemption, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what's Nick's deal here? For folks who don't know.
He grew up and on the wrong side of the tracks and basically ended up getting involved with the wrong kinds of people and getting involved in some really dangerous lifestyle. And I believe that he was a murderer and a drug user and all kinds of things. And when he was in prison, kind of faced death. He thought he was going to die. He was sick. He thought that the doctor told him there was no way he was going to make it. And he ended up finding somebody who talked to him about Jesus Christ. And he accepted Christ into his heart, and he was healed, completely healed. Wow. And it changed his life.
That is a long road back. And
Absolutely.
we're talking a couple of different planes here. Of course, his physical health.
Right.
He had to get that taken care of, and the Lord did that for him.
Right.
But the Lord healed his spirit too.
Absolutely. And so he now spends his life, sharing his testimony and trying to bring hope to people.
Mm-hmm. Well, hope is what Celebrate Recovery is all about. Tell me about it as a movement, as a basic part of the life now of the Homer City United Methodist Church.
Absolutely. About 10 years ago, obviously, it got started at our church with a woman whose son had been struggling in drug addiction, and she really felt a need for it. And she and a couple other people got together, and they formed this non-denominational group based on Celebrate Recovery is a national organization. And they started the local branch, and we figure that we have probably served about 1,000 people. We have probably an average attendance of about 25 to 35 each week. Some people come continuously. Some people come for a while. And we have people who come over sometimes from the rehabs who we may only see once. And the stories are just amazing, that as we spend time in small group to allow them to share things maybe they've never shared before, and to find freedom in doing that, and to know that they don't have to hold on to their shame.
Yeah. I want to talk about the event tonight specifically, but I want to talk first about what a typical night is like for Celebrate Recovery.
Generally at 6:15 we have a small dinner together, and then at 7 o'clock we have large group, and that includes going through our 12 steps and music and either a testimony or a lesson. And then we have small groups. We break into men and women at 8 o'clock.
And you meet when?
We meet Thursday nights, beginning at 6:15 is the dinner. 7 o'clock is the program.
Basically every Thursday night.
Every Thursday night, all year long.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And the definition of addiction is interesting as well, and the types of things that people are recovering from. It's a really broad field, isn't it?
Absolutely. We say that Celebrate Recovery is for anyone dealing with any hurt, habit, or hang-up, which pretty much is all of us. Yeah. Pretty much is all of us. And often what we find is someone will come and think that they're dealing with one issue, and then they will discover that they have a whole lot of other issues, as we all do. And so we really believe that this is a program that helps you to find complete wholeness.
Yeah. Peel away a bunch of layers.
That's right.
And you get down to the root causes.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. So there's a lot of work that goes on at Celebrate Recovery.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. And it requires not only the people who are there to help and to facilitate, but it requires a willing heart by the person who's come.
Absolutely.
And has recognized that there's a problem that needs to be addressed.
Absolutely. Healing takes work. It doesn't usually just come. It takes work. And you have to be willing to be humble enough to accept what your weaknesses are and to be able to work on them.
Absolutely. All right. So Pastor Katrina Laude with us here this morning from Celebrate Recovery at the Homer City United Methodist Church. So you meet every week at what time again?
Thursdays, 6:15 is a small dinner, followed by 7 o'clock is our program.
All right. So tell me about tonight's event.
So tonight's event, we will be having some speaker, Nick the Greek, that we just talked about, and he has an incredible testimony. I have not heard it yet. I'm really looking forward to hearing it. And we have some music by various groups that are coming, and we're just going to have a good time and just celebrate and just enjoy redemption.
That normal time, though, right?
Normal time, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. 7 o'clock is the program, yeah.
All right, very good. Anthony Frazier, of course, he has such a heart for getting out with the gospel message, number one.
Absolutely.
But also for reaching hurting people.
Yes.
Anthony's all about that.
Yes.
And so having him to participate in tonight's program is going to make it even more special.
Absolutely. Anthony's like our Indiana prophet. Yeah, we're happy to have him.
All right. So for folks who say to themselves, well, this is nice, but that's over in Homer City, and, I don't really know anybody there at the Methodist Church, and maybe I don't feel like I can make it there yet. There are people that have certain reticencies about themselves. They don't feel comfortable getting there.
Right.
But it takes a little bit of courage and a big first step.
It absolutely does. And you know what? You can bring a friend. But we have, most of our people actually come from Indiana and from all different churches, and some no churches. So, it's really a more Indiana County type thing. Yeah. And there is, of course, also the Celebrate Recovery that meets in Indiana at the Word of Grace Fellowship on Monday nights at 5:30.
Yeah, that's with Jackie Green.
Yes, with Jackie Green, yeah.
All right. Excellent. I bet your people go to both of them, huh?
Several of them do, yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I bet. And they're only doing that because they recognize the value in them, and they can see them at work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have definitely seen lives transformed.
You have been at Homer City United Methodist for how long?
6 years.
For 6 years. So this program was already going when you got there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think back those 6 years and your first event, when you first went to Celebrate Recovery and you saw what goes on there.
Well, there's a little bit of an irony for me. I have a weird story. I had two unofficial foster kids for 8 years full time, and had made the decision to let them go back and live with their biological mother in Knoxville, Tennessee. And that happened right before I moved here. And I was really, really struggling with that. My small group leader actually was fighting for custody of her kids. So it was the exact opposite situation. And so for me, as difficult as it was, it allowed me to really be able to find a safe space to talk about those issues and to find healing in that.
Yeah, there's a great value in finding other people who are struggling. Maybe their issues are similar or the same as yours. Maybe they're completely different from yours.
Right.
But really, in the end, it's a struggle, and it's being able to voice it and be comfortable among others who are struggling too.
Absolutely, and I've discovered that you can always find a part of your story in everybody else's story.
Absolutely. Okay, so it's happening tonight, Homer City United Methodist. Anybody can come.
Absolutely, we would love to have you.
Very good. Thanks for coming in to tell us about it.
Thank you so much.
She is Pastor Katrina Laude from the Homer City United Methodist Church. Celebrate Recovery is celebrating 10 years tonight. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160 and 101.1 FM.